Hello, and thank you for looking at this presentation that should describe the bee improvement course and the contents of it. So the course really has three elements. There's a PowerPoint presentation which will be online. There will be a list of resources so you can do your own studying. So really that is learning at home. And then there's a one-day practical, which will be at an apiary, hopefully near you. That will have two or perhaps more tutors. So what are we going to cover on the whole course then? Well, colony handling techniques, because they are quite important, because if the colony is poorly handled, then you cannot blame the bees for being bad-tempered. We'll assess various colonies at the apiary and show you how to do it, and perhaps some simple recording as well, nothing too difficult. Then we need to set criteria against what we're assessing against. So really, it's what you want in your bees, and it could be gentleness, or it could be calmness on the comb, or it could be perhaps suitable to your area. We'll show several ways of producing queen cells and how to set up cell raising colonies, because this, of course, is what one might term as artificial queen raising, not just using natural queen cells, although of course we do encourage use of queen cells, natural queen cells, if you wish. Then queen cell distribution, putting them in queenless colonies. We'll make up and manage queen mating colonies, or we'll make them up and then just discuss the managing of them and nuclei. What we won't be doing is mini nukes, because that is a little bit of a specialist area, and it does need more experience. We'll be doing clipping and marking queens, although we'll obviously only do drones because we won't have enough queens. And if you are perhaps working on your own, it might be a good idea to work with other beekeepers in some way. Now, it could be a local beekeeping association, or perhaps as a bee improvement group near you. There isn't actually very much equipment required to produce queens. Some might involve a little bit of purchasing, or perhaps you can make them yourself, or improvise, or modify whatever you've got. Queen rearing really does not cost very much at all. Queen introduction we'll be demonstrating, and of course we need to get the queens mated when they've emerged, and there are a lot of myths in queen rearing and bee improvement, exactly the same as the rest of beekeeping, and we'll try and sort some of those out for you. There's loads more, so there's plenty to do in the day, plus the run up to it. So a little bit about the course. It's really replacing a 2-day BIBBA course that has run successfully for about 5 years. But of course, now with different ways of doing things, we can reduce the apiary element down to 1 day by what one might term self-learning. So we can provide you with tutorials and material, and you can really learn at whatever time there is to suit you. You really do need to be a fairly reasonable and competent beekeeper, because we have had people come along who simply don't know the life cycle of the queen, or anything of that nature. You really do need to be at a reasonable level. What we're hoping to do is encourage participants, well, all beekeepers really, to raise queens that suit their environment, and perhaps at the end of the day be in a position to teach others at their local beekeeping associations as well. Whatever your outlook is, it really is going to be a good learning experience for everybody. Now, at the apiary, There will be several locations throughout the country, or we hope there are, if we can get some hosts, but we're working well on that, because BIBBA actually try to work very well with local beekeepers, individuals, and also beekeeping associations as well. We won't have very large groups. We'll only have small groups because it's much easier to learn if you can concentrate and you can have time spent on you rather than a large group. You will be handling bees. There are several opportunities to do that. So you can actually get stuck into the bees as well. What we do is work at your pace, because there's no point pushing people at all. Some people pick things up a little bit quicker than others, but if you are way behind, then obviously it is going to be a bit of a problem. So we'll try and find some other way of dealing with that. We will be at other people's apiary, so all we ask is for participants to respect the host's bees, the hosts themselves, and their apiary, because not everybody keeps the bees the same way, and somebody might perhaps be keeping bees at a way you disapprove. Please take into account that everybody is different. There will be some guidance notes which will be sent around to participants beforehand. You obviously need to read them. But at the end of the day, what we're hoping to do is to all learn how to improve our bees, not just for us, but for the bees as well. So all you have to do is to select a course that suits you. It might not be close to you. Perhaps you want to make a short break of it, or a little holiday or something like that. And if you travel 200 or 300 miles, it really doesn't matter. Then you have to book it. Learn from the resources that you will be sent. Turn up on the day. Spend a whole day learning and doing it under guidance. And hopefully you should enjoy yourself. Thank you very much for listening.